Welcome to Libertarian Times. We're here at Acton Experience Brazil with Marcel van Hattem, member of the Chamber of Deputies of Brazil for the Novo Party. How are you, Marcel? Thank you very much for taking the time to give me this interview.
I'm very well. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm fine that I'm happy to have us also people coming from other parts of the world, especially you, doing this important work of covering this event.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Well, can you tell us the importance of having Acton here in Brazil?
Well, we see what's going on in the world, and Acton University and the Acton Institute are very important in the United States for many, many years because it unites the world of religion with the world of economics, and this is something that is very important also to happen here in Brazil. We are a conservative country. Many people go to church, many Christians, Catholics, evangelicals that do know what is the best in politics, but do not know many times exactly why the defense of freedom of religion connects one with the other, and this is why it's so important to have also now Acton University in Brazil.
Well, that's amazing. Also, I wanted to touch upon the things that are happening here in Brazil, like the political persecution and the censorship. What's your view on the topic?
Well, it's crazy that we're living this right now. I wouldn't imagine it 10 years ago, and this is why I say that everybody should be worried that their countries, including Argentina, could face something like it in the coming years. We see that censorship in the hands of tyrants like we have in Brazil are being right now targeted. This censorship decisions against the right, but not necessarily only against one pole of the political spectrum. We are now the victims of the persecution, but we know that unfortunately we have seen that anyone who goes against those who are in power can be subject to it. So right now, I, as a parliamentarian in Brazil, by the way, am being persecuted by the Supreme Court. They opened an investigation against me because I said in the House floor, imagine, as a member of parliament, that's my duty, that a member of the Brazilian Federal Police was not behaving well, and because of that, I'm being now, I was indicted by the Federal Police of Lula for allegedly offending a civil servant. This is outrageous, but this is unfortunately also what is going on in Brazil right now against the opposition of Lula. Lula is a hardcore socialist. Actually, he is an extremist on the left, and most of the people in the world still don't understand the effects that we are feeling right now in Brazil because of Lula's friendship with Iran, with Hamas, and with Russia, with China, and other dictatorships around the world. We hope that this interview also makes other people more aware of what is going on in Brazil, and I'm very happy that we can spread here from Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, to the world the news about what is going on in Brazil, even though they are not good news.
Well, that's very interesting. Could you tell us a little more about how entrenched Iran and China are here?
Well, the first international visit of Lula as a chief of state was to the Chinese territory in 2023. The same with Iran, when we see that the ambassador of Iran has been visiting our human rights, minister for many times in the Lula government. We also saw that during the Israeli-Hamas conflict, Lula took side with Hamas, even though in the first moment he despised what happened via Twitter. Right after that, we saw that Lula was actually acting more in the defense of this terrorist group, including if we look at the fact that the Israelis don't have an ambassador in Brazil anymore, and Lula was declared persona non grata in Israel. So we see that unfortunately the Brazilian government under Lula is benefiting from relationships with dictators, and the Brazilian people is suffering from this.
Yeah, that's truly very sad. I actually interviewed the families of some Brazilians that fled to Argentina, and that those people were being held basically in a prison in Argentina. Can you tell us your opinion on that?
It's crazy what's going on. Actually, I don't understand still how is it possible that in Argentina people that were asylum seekers, people that had provisional asylum are now in jail. So this is something that is for us as Brazilians that defend freedom, especially when we look at the government that is in charge in Argentina, and we very much admire Milei and support him. It's difficult to understand how is it possible that these people are still in jail now in Argentina, and we're working also with the Argentinian authorities trying to bring more information about this case to get these people as soon as possible out of jail.
Well, that's great work. Can you tell us more about your expectations for the upcoming presidential elections?
We hope to have elections to start with, because what we saw in Venezuela is that this government of Venezuela, the dictatorship there that is close to Lula, did what it could to first fraud the elections, and second, we see that in the end they don't really care about what people think, because Maduro is in power even though he never won the last elections. So what we see now going on in Brazil is that Lula is following the steps of the Venezuelan regime, and we hope that we still can get to the voting machines next year and have a fair election. I'm running for the Senate, and we need to have a majority of senators in the Brazilian Senate in order to get the impeachment of justices of the Supreme Court, whom, by the way, are actually the biggest threats to Brazilian democracy right now.
Well, let's hope that you can have a very fair election. Well, I wanted to conclude this interview with a message to the people around the world that are looking to Brazil and hoping that you guys can have a right-wing government, can get rid of Lula. What would be that message?
Well, first of all, we thank all the love that has been shared with Brazilian people and with the Brazilian who are being persecuted by Lula's regime. And secondly, we really expect that people who are around the world help us to spread what's going on in Brazil and tell other people that what we're living right now in Brazil is a dictatorship, and this knowledge is very important so that people don't continue repeating that Brazil is still a democracy. We are not anymore, but we still want to recover, of course, our freedom in the country. And as I always say, and I will conclude with that, I do not want to live in another country. I want to live in another Brazil. And this is why I am in politics right now, to make my country a better country to live in.
Great message. I thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.